everyone, it's Dr. Tracy Adams, and I want to present to you an exciting new course that we just built called Thriving Your Life with Emotional Intelligence. It is a course just for women, and I want you all to think about this course as leadership development from the inside. So if you've ever been to any other training program where you've learned how to be a great leader or you've learned how to lead your life, this is something completely different, because we use the skills of emotional intelligence, which is all about what's happening on the inside. I can't wait to share with you the process of the curriculum, which is the reason for this video. But first, a little bit about me. Again, I'm Tracy Adams. I've been doing the work of emotional intelligence for a very long time. I'm a leadership development expert. And so what I do for a living in corporate America is I am brought into companies to build really innovative leadership development programs. And my secret sauce over the last, I would say 13 years, has been incorporating emotional intelligence into that curriculum. So emotional intelligence being the way you manage yourself. It's your self-awareness skills, it's how you self-regulate, and it's also the empathy that you show to other people, your ability to connect with other people, which is huge for effective leaders, wouldn't you agree? My doctorate work is also in emotional intelligence under leadership science. And so my own study looked at whether or not a leader's emotional intelligence would impact their engagement score with their teams. And lo and behold, of course, your emotional intelligence not only impacts your own direct reports if you have them, but also the people around you and the relationship that you have with your own boss, family, children, friends, community. It impacts everything, emotional intelligence. I'm certified in many tools in Gallup, one of which is the Well-Being Index. And so I've been using the Well-Being Index for over 10 years on my own life, as well as coaching other women through that index. And I like to use that index because it really gives us a nice blueprint to look at our life from a different lens. I am a firm believer in balance, and I know many people talk about there's no way to be balanced. There is a way, my friends, and I want to share a little bit about that with you today. And then finally, I have 17 years in leading high-performing teams. So I've been a leader, I've been a senior leader, I've been a global leader. So I understand how difficult and challenging it is to leading other people. I'm also a parent of 2 teenagers, and so I understand what it's like to have to navigate and negotiate many different relationships and boundaries. And I think EQ is the answer. So let me tell you a little bit about who I work with. So my clients that come into the EQ school are usually busy working women who desire something more. They either want to move into a leadership role, they want better balance in their life, they want better communication skills. There's something going on the inside that they're not quite clear. Something needs to change, but they don't know where to start. They want something different. They want to lead their life, right? And not be a passenger to things that are happening to them, right? It's an empowering program that I offer my clients. And then the other added benefit is women who want to discover their worth. And this is not just about the pay gap. This is really about worth in all areas of your life, your marriage, your health, your career, your boss, your employees, right? How much money you have in the bank. You are worth so much more. And part of that is changing your thinking with emotional intelligence. So I have coined the term EQ well-being. EQWB is what we're talking about here. And I use the Gallup Well-Being Index, those 5 areas, to really unpack and uncover where it is in your life that you're out of balance. And I do that through the lens of emotional intelligence, how to manage your mind, because I want all of us to live with true purpose. Do you know that there's about 70% of Americans are miserable in their jobs? Gallup tells us that the majority of people do not like their work, and that is such a sad statistic. And it does not have to be that way. Through emotional intelligence, you can navigate the career you want. You can navigate the salary you get. There are so many different things that you could be doing differently by using just a few key skills that I teach in the EQ school, because I do want you to get what you're worth. And so I use these tools every single day. And just a little bit about my own results. I continually score 90th percentile in the Gallup Wellbeing Index. Only 7% of the population actually score that high. Not to give myself kudos, but I have found a way to integrate emotional intelligence with the well-being index, and it really does work. I live in a healthy body weight. I am completely mindful about what I take into my body, and that is all about emotional intelligence. I wish I could do a study of how EQ impacts body weight, because it really is a fight that we have with our future selves when we go on a diet, and you do not need to diet when you have emotional intelligence. I promise you that. I have deep connections with my children. I practice these skills. I teach my children these skills. My children know these skills, how to communicate with me back, their own thoughts, feelings, and wants. I have a clear portfolio. I used to be a mess with my money. And now that I use emotional intelligence and use the specific awareness wheel around my relationship with money, I have a wonderful relationship with my own portfolio. I get what I'm worth, right? I stay in my lane at work, meaning I don't overtake someone else's work, because then I'm completely underpaid, right? It's the whole idea of those boundaries that we have to get paid what I'm worth, and I'm totally worth my pay. I live my life in complete balance. I do have balance. I had a friend that once said, "You can't have everything. You can have everything, but you can't have everything at the same time." I disagree. I really do. I disagree. I have found a strategy and a structure on how to move into that space. And I have those internal boundaries through the work of emotional intelligence. And so part of the process is this idea of the Thrive On dashboard. The dashboard are those 5 areas and what's not working. So you just pick one. Is it your career? Is it your finances? Is it your relationships? Or is it your physical health? And we move through those spaces in a deliberate process through a community. And we create that community in the course so that you're being supported, you're being witnessed, you're being held accountable, you're trying new things, you're okay messing up, you're having courageous conversations that you need to have at work, but you're practicing it in the EQ school. And so the neuroscience that I'm talking about here is integrating your thoughts, feelings, and wants. Emotional intelligence as a construct, the very definition is the facilitation of the mind. There's 3 parts of the brain. There's the impulsive part, there's the feeling part, and there's the thinking part. And you integrate and you learn how to move those things together. This is why mindfulness is such a big ordeal now. It really is to take a pause and choose the next right action. And that's what it's about, getting this self-awareness, and you're able to be really congruent with what you say you want and what you actually do. So that's EQ. How does it all work? I have women that come into the EQ school. They're not quite sure. I'm in a course right now. I'm in the middle of a cohort, and I have one student that's like, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm just going to go on this journey and see what comes up for me. And I love that. I just love that. Most women come in and they're stuck somewhere. It's usually their career. They want to advance. They want more money. They want to move up the ladder. They're not quite sure how. And they're questioning, how do I get from this side to that side, right? They can't really see themselves, and they can't really see about what's going on the inside to get to this level of thrive. It is a painful process. And so in the curriculum, we unpack deep patterns that we have from our family of origin. So I do talk about how your family thought about money. I do talk about what voices you heard from your family of origin that said you weren't allowed to move into this new space, or the career that you picked was someone else's idea. It wasn't even yours. So by learning to manage your own emotions and your own stories and your own identity, you make a breakthrough. I have so many people who make breakthroughs using this dashboard. And what I say to women is just pick one. You pick one at the beginning of the course, and you use the tools I teach you through so that by the time you're done at 6 weeks, you have made strides. And most women make impact the very first class. The very first topic that we cover is intimacy building and social awareness, social intelligence. It's a great course. It really is. That first module is one of my favorites. And so this tool that we dive into deep is around that facilitation of the mind, right? Thoughts, feelings, wants, actions, those things that we're taking, we learn those skills together. We practice those skills together. It's a really fun adventure to go together. The secret sauce, my other secret sauce here, is we do this in community. So you know the middle of that dashboard where it says community and environment? My friends, you have to change your environment in order to make a different choice. And sometimes we don't have the luxury of getting a new husband or new children or a new job or whatever. So I create this environment in the EQ school so that you can have a supportive network to support you. That's what the class is about. You'll see here at a glance, it's a 6-week program. You get the beauty of having all this wonderful blue curriculum for the lifetime of your amazing journey into emotional intelligence. There's tools, templates, downloads, videos. I go into practice sessions inside the curriculum. It's evergreen. You have it all the time. If you have to have a difficult conversation with your boss someday, you just go back to that courageous conversation module and you go through that course again so that it can arm you with confidence to have that conversation. And then the labs, my friends, the labs is where the magic happens. You're in a group of women, we cover a tool, and then we do deep breakout sessions where you go a little bit deeper in what's holding you back and what patterns you want to change. And you can see that it's a full 6-week course. The live events are so critical. And then throughout the week, we're processing and we're practicing and we're chatting together in the online private classroom that we all get to build these amazing partnerships and lifelong friends. I've had women who've come through my curriculum that I still keep in touch with because it really is an amazing adventure. So that, my friends, is the process of the Thrive On dashboard and the skills that you'll learn in the Thriving with Emotional Intelligence course. I hope to see you inside. Please get on my waiting list. We only run the course a few times a year, so please click and get on the waiting list because I'd love to have you in. With that, thrive on, everyone.